Welcome to the Playbook. How are you?
Good, thank you.
How are you since half an hour ago?
Well, I was more relaxed half an hour ago.
Are you not relaxed now?
Not driving up from Sakim.
You're in our
hour.
humble abode,
The pressure's on, you see.
No pressure.
under the spotlight.
There is actually a very big spotlight in it, if people didn't know that.
Yeah, the natural lighting's not the best, to be fair.
I think people who are watching can see the reflection through the screen anyway, so they get an understanding.
That's good. We're not
So
misleading
Dean,
people.
apparently you're our managing director. How does that come about?
Well, I don't know. I just think that it sort of fell into place.
Yeah.
I think I was what the company needed to, what's the word? Not rejuvenate's probably the wrong word, but just to re-stimulate the office and just develop a strong team there, really. Obviously started with you guys doing the leasing, and then the guy who was running the company left, and it was just the perfect opportunity for me to step into his shoes, I suppose, and yeah, go forward, but just change a few things and put a few things which, from my experience as being a broker out here, you know, I've tried or trying to do.
The breath of fresh air, that's the one.
I think it is.
Yeah, speaking about that, like as in being a broker, like you're really relaxed. Like you're really like come a day, go a day, like really relaxed kind of way of being a manager, even being a leasing manager.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always been the relaxed kind? Like even when you're an agent, were you the relaxed kind? Were you the happy-go-lucky, or did you have kind of periods where you weren't?
No, there's always times being a broker out here where you're going to struggle. Like it's one of the toughest jobs ever. Like if you're not earning money out here, like Dubai's the best place to live in the world if you've got money. If you haven't, you're fucked. And that's when it's difficult. My story, I've always had a smile on my face from the day I woke up. When you wake up, you never know where that day's going to take you. That's how I always look at things. And I think life is far too short, and maybe events in your life need to happen, or things in your life need to happen to you to make you realise. And obviously, you know, 3 years ago, I went through like the worst experience in the world. And even before that, I would always be like, what's going to happen today? Like, and I don't know, I just, it's not a carefree attitude, but it's an attitude of, where's this day? Who am I going to meet? What's the next phone call I'm going to, you know, what person in my office is going to do a deal today which potentially could change their life, or, you know, a listing which is like the best unit. It's just not knowing where your day's going to go.
Do you wake up in the morning and it's just, right, happy-go-lucky, ready to go, or is that...
No, that is it.
Yeah.
You wake me up in the morning. Kirsty will say to me, before we had kids, she'd beg for me to leave the house, like, so she could just get ready in peace. As soon as I'm up, that's it. I never used to have curtains. It's only Kirsty that made me have curtains. Before, I would never have curtains. I just like sunlight come in, and that would be it. I'd be ready. But from the second I get up, I'm the same person I am just before I fall asleep.
There has to be a morning in the week, though, you go up and just like, oh, fuck this today. I'm not in the mood.
Do you know what? It's not, and maybe it's because I've got kids as well. Like for me, the kids is a massive thing. I just want to see them in the morning. I want to see them like wake up, see them first thing every day. For me, it's just like the most amazing gift you can be given in life is to have, you know, your kids there every day, just whether they're in bed with you and they've been an absolute shitheads during the night or whatever, but they're there and they just smile. And you're like, yeah, I'm ready. And what I'm going to do during the day now is purely I look at them, and it just gives me more motivation to do something. But even before I had the kids, I just had a bit of, there wasn't so much of a motivation, I suppose, back then. There was just a sense of, you know, what's today going to bring.
Curiosity more than motivation.
Yeah, I think so. Like, and that's the best thing about this job. You never know where that next phone call, that next viewing, that next meeting it's going to introduce you to. Yeah.
Like do those motivations change? As in, obviously when you're fresh into Dubai, like you're a real estate agent, you're thinking about yourself first, you're thinking about your rent, you're thinking about your car loan. Like now those worries or those things that motivate you change to, as you say, like your kids, like, you know, where they're going to go to school, like those things that drive you, do they change during your real estate career? Like,
I think starting off, it is a case of survival. It's
Yeah.
it literally you fight for survival when you come out here. Like if you haven't lived off pot noodles and bread for dinner, then you've been lucky. Like people say, what's the cheapest meal you have when you're poor? It's bedtime. I go to
Sleep.
you go to
dinner,
sleep.
yeah.
Like, I'll just if I go to sleep, then I can't afford it. I just go to sleep. But no, I mean, like, to be fair, I've never been show off flashing. I always say to the same people, like when we come out, we're very sort of humble to where we've come from. I grew up. I didn't have a passport till I was honestly 15 or
You
something.
don't even have a passport at the moment.
Yeah, I know. It's actually Wednesday it comes back. I didn't have a passport till I was 15, and again, our holidays growing up were the best holidays ever. Go to like caravan parks, like down in Devon Way. But yeah, just never had a passport till I was 16.
Do you reckon growing up like that changed your outlook on life now?
No, we was very like as growing up, we were so fortunate. Me, my brother, and my two sisters. Fuck, we had an amazing childhood. Like the amount of kids in our school that would want to come to our house after school because it was such a good, like it was a madhouse. But we never went, like we were never spoiled as such, but we never went without. Like if we wanted to, we had to go on a school trip or this, that. We always had it, like new trade, like we always had those things. But yeah, I think nowadays the way that the world is that a lot of it's very easy for kids to get things,
Especially here.
especially
Dubai.
here.
Yeah.
Especially here.
It sounds like that you grew up in a real like happy house, like in
100%. Unbelievable. It's still, like, if I go back there now, it's exactly the same.
I'd say that's the reason as to why I don't want to put words in your mouth as to why like you raise your kids in such a happy environment. Like I saw it the day that we were at the golf, like your daughter seemed to be just having the time of her life, and the way that you are as a dad is like really relaxed and easy going, and like everything that I would like to be with my kids.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, but I do, but I find with the kids here, they fit into your life. I see these parents, and I'm no expert at bringing up kids or anything like that, but people who stress about their kids, we've got to do this time, this has got to happen. Don't get me wrong, there's routine to my kids' life, but we don't stress about them. They fit into our lives, and they fit in so well that they're chilled. Like, if I've never met another family, but like, some kids I go around, I'm like, oh fuck, just go away, like, oh god, just hit it like that. But you do get that. But I just think because they fit around me, we're relaxed as parents. Like being cursed, like the best parents ever. I had that when I was being brought up. We know right is right and wrong is wrong. Like if they do step out of line, they need to be told.
Yeah.
What they've done wrong. But yeah, a massive thing is to just be relaxed. I've seen it so many times where I felt anxious around parents with kids. I'm just like, there's no rule book on how to deal with kids.
I think that transpires though even into you as a manager as well. Like you're very relaxed in the office too, and therefore the environment in the office becomes relaxed like that as well. And everybody's just, if anyone does fucks up, or you saw even in the meeting today, if like someone does step out of line, they're put back in their place.
100%. I believe that I'd want the office I would want if I was working in there as a broker. How I'd want it to be. Do you know what I mean? You don't need someone breathing down your neck, being like, "What are you doing? How many this that?" You are in control of your business, effectively your diary. Okay, and yes, I'm relaxed and I'm chill, but at the same time, like I say, if you do step out of line, you do something wrong. Right is right, wrong is wrong. There's going to be a repercussion for that. Do you know what I mean? But I don't make it my business to go around making people scared of me. To be like, I don't want to do this. Like, my door is always open. People will always come and talk to me. And I think that's what people like, is that they can talk to me on a level. Because I've been there. You see these other companies who bring in these MDs or CEOs or whatever just to sit there and tick some boxes and make sure the numbers are right. But for me, it's different. Like, that company will grow very, very well now, I think, because of the culture that is being put in there, and the communication as well, because there was a real lack of communication.
Yeah, and you're putting people first, like leading with people, because you obviously are a people person, and you're thinking about the culture and you're thinking about empowering the people and not micromanaging people, because at the end of the day, like, there's so much flexibility as a real estate agent, like, as in we can do what we want, like, we're not really getting paid, there's nobody cracking the whip. It's definitely tough for some people, but when you do put the people first and actually give them a sense that they're taken care of, then I think that speaks volumes, like, and it's down to your managerial style, and that seems to be your way, but that's the way that I believe in it, and that's the way that I think going forward that, like, would be the best way for a lot of real estate agents and a lot of real estate companies, because it's a big decision moving from the UK or Ireland here, like, all your savings, like, and
I feel responsible though bringing people over now.
Really?
Like, genuinely, if someone comes over here and it doesn't work for them, I would feel a little bit like, I'd feel shit.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't want to bring people over here on the hope and the dream, like a lot of companies do out here. You're just a number, you're through the door, oh, it hasn't worked, whatever, move on to the next one. Like, when one of those lads left the other day, he's still in the country, and he's got another job. Obviously, I won't say his name, but I was a bit like, do you know what I mean? It was like, he was doing everything right, but just the area that he was in probably wasn't ideal. Could he have given a bit more? Maybe. Could he have done some more? Yes, but I did feel a little bit like, that was a bit...
I think that's similar though, even when people say, oh, would you recommend real estate in Dubai? I'd be so hesitant, and we said this before, to recommend it to someone too, because you feel, because it is such a big jump for someone, like,
massive,
you feel it on your head.
If you've got the drive and you've got the hunger, like you two have, it's a no-brainer. But I think the problem is that so many people are still, this day and age, trapped in this small little bubble of, you know, oh, grow up in my town, I'm going to stay in my town, I'm going to work my 9 till 5, I'm going to live for the weekend, I'm going to do that, I'm going to retire, and things like that. The world is changing in so many different aspects, and, you know, all I would say is that I wish I'd come here sooner, 100%.
Really?
How come?
Just to take more of the opportunity, really, that was available.
What did make you make that move? Like, as you were saying it.
I was working in London at the time. I've been working between Brighton and London, and I thought, if I stay here, we just sold out a building actually just near the other side of Canary Wharf there, and got quite a good chunk of commission from it and stuff. And I thought I could either go back to like where I'm from, set up my own little thing there, but how far would that get me? You know, I looked at some of the owners of estate agencies in where I was from, and yeah, you know, they've got a nice BMW or whatever, but they've got their house, but they're still, you know, there's nothing exciting about it.
It's still the same lifestyle.
Exactly, and then I was like, what? The world is a tiny place. So I come on a holiday, and I just fell in love with it, really, because I'd not really travelled a huge amount before this. Obviously, been Europe a fair bit and America a few times, but then I came out here and I was like, there's something about this place.
When was that for? 15?
2013 I first came out here and moved on 2014.
Okay, so you're here 10 years?
Yeah.
Say a lot has changed.
Has it flown by?
I'm insane. Honestly, it could feel like yesterday I got into that hotel on the day I arrived.
Really?
Insane how quick it goes.
What is it about Dubai that the time goes so fast?
No. It's no different to the seasons. So like in the UK, you've got your summer, you've got your winter, you've got your whatever the other two are. There's 4 there, I think.
Autumn and spring.
Autumn and spring.
That's it. Whereas you don't have that here. In Dubai, you've got hot or fucking hot.
Yeah.
So that's it. But the weather's it's always sunny.
Yeah.
So at least then you have like a different chat, and I feel that is the thing. It just feels like it actually blows my fucking brain that Christmas last year was a year ago. Like, it feels like to me that was like 3 weeks ago.
Even the weeks though. It's Monday and next thing it's Thursday. You know?
Yeah.
Where the fuck did that go?
You said this morning, like, there's 52 weeks in the year and we've done
two already.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
And people have this, I personally do, that you're always kind of racing to get stuff done. It feels like Dubai is moving at like 1 million miles per second. Like, it's like straight on to
That's because of people that are here, though. You wouldn't find that in England.
And what do you mean? Like, as in, what do you mean the people here?
People are driven here to do stuff, to make things happen. You know, we go back to the UK, yeah, ring up an estate agent in the UK, as it's called, and say, look, can we view this apartment, view this flat? Oh my God, it's like pulling teeth. Like, I was like, look, I know the property's empty. We live just a few doors down. Oh, we can't book you in till Saturday to view that one when Jane, our weekend assistant's in. I was like, come on, Ralph, just show me the unit. You're there. You've probably got the key. And, oh, no, can't do that. We need at least 24 hours now and all this shit. I was like, okay. Anyway, Saturday comes, we view the property, 9 o'clock in the morning, you know, standing at the door, keen, because we've got something in our brain that we want to view now. All right, view away. It must have been 10 o'clock. Half 10, rang up, look, can we get a second viewing on that? So, oh, Jane's over the other side of Brighton now, so I'm not sure we'll be able to get the key. Fucking hell, if that was here and it was like, you get in your car, you drive to Abu Dhabi, fucking whatever time it was, get that key and get your ass back here to make a deal and make money. People don't have that drive in the UK. Here they do. They've got the hunger. Is that
just because the competition's not there in the UK?
No, you get a basic salary in the UK. So selling a house in the UK is nothing like selling a house here. You might get, 200 quid, 300 quid. I don't know what it is nowadays. Maybe like 400 or 500 quid extra on top of your basic salary, which back then was probably like 19, 20k. I don't know what it is now. So there's no real motivation. So I say to people, if you came out here to be a real estate broker, you lasted a year out here, then you went back to Brighton or wherever you're from, you would clean up.
Really?
I firmly believe you would. Just because you drive. You'd say to your owners, you know what? Fuck, put me on a salary only role here and then put my wage on that basis.
Yeah.
It'd be mental.
I think that like no salary and commission only ignites like that in people where there's two sides to that coin, like as in people race to do things really quickly, but then also people like do things like that would be unethical. But
there's definitely elements of that. But I try and teach the right way. There's always going to be the wrong way in whatever industry you're in, whether it be football or anything.
And was that the same when you're an agent? As in, like, obviously you sit here today, like as a managing director of a real estate company. Like, how do you go from being a real estate agent 10 years ago to becoming a managing director? Like, as in, what are the principles that you have to live by? Like, what are the things that you've done to get to where you are today?
When I first started, I tell people what they wanted to hear to get a deal done.
Really?
Yeah. I put my hands up and that was sort of like, you're so frustrated, you just want to get a deal done. Yep, that's fine. They'll move out. Yes, it'll be at that done, and then deal with the consequences afterwards. That's why you never had any long-term relationships out here. But then I decided, it wasn't the way, and I started just being open and transparent. Changed everything. They'd remember you. They'd be like, oh yeah, Dean. Even if somebody didn't buy something from me, I'd give them such a good service, and they'd be like, they'd come back and be like, oh look, Dean, by the way, we viewed this other property. Can I just ask you a few questions about the MOU or these clauses? Of course you can. Other brokers from other companies will be like, get to fuck. See you later. You didn't buy from me. See you later. I always thought, what? That these people are, they obviously trust. It's daunting buying out here. And if somebody felt confident in asking me a question, of course I'm going to answer it. We're humans at the end. They're all going to,
It's interesting that you said that. I was speaking to a guy today who said, like, he's a tenant, like a client, and he said that's what's missing here. It's the long-term vision. It's looking at me like
what industry are you in out here? Short-sighted.
Yeah.
People don't give two shit. They'll take the paycheck and that's it.
Why do you think that is? Just because they're here to make a quick buck? Or?
I think so. Yeah, I think it is basically. They just want the money. They just see the pound signs. Or dirham signs. That's all it is. But the people do not look at the long term. There's one guy I'm working with at the moment. I've been working with him over the last year now. And I know that via me and other brokers, they've tried to hunt him down for it. And I was like, that's not how you're going to play this guy. And this guy's got a large budget. And I know it's going to come in. And I said to him, I don't care if it takes me 5 viewing with you or 50 viewings over the next year. When you're ready to buy, you're going to come to me. But other brokers will be like, oh yeah, he's not buying. Oh, the market's doing this. Trying to tell him stuff that he wants to hear. Just be open. Yeah. Just tell him as it is.
Over
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, over promising, under delivering. Like
Massive in Dubai. I used to, like, honestly, I would say I used to do it all the time when I first came out here, because you just want to get a deal done.
The fact that you were looking back on that now, knowing right, it wasn't the decision to make, the right decision to make. Did you find out that it did get you off the ground quicker doing that?
Yeah, I think my first deal was a property in JVT, and it was only a small deal. I mean, it was like worth a rental really when it actually came down to it. But did it make it? I don't know. It's a difficult one. I didn't give 110%. I don't think when I was a broker first out here. I think it was so sort of like, I never really went out and stuff like that. But I don't know. I was just maybe focusing on different things. I never went. If I could go back and start from the beginning, I'd give more. I'd make more calls. I'd do more, like KPI things.
When did that change? As in, like,
when did that change?
When you started looking at it in terms of the long term, as in,
I think so. Yeah, when you started looking at the bigger picture, really, like the clients and working for that company at the time, you was quite shielded from where you could go in different areas and speak to different people. And obviously, I think once you leave that and then work for companies where you've got a bigger, more potential to do things, a bigger sort of network to create and things like that as well.
mm.
But yeah, I'd say it was a good. I did enjoy starting it. I just think I could have done a bit more.
What do you think you did differently? Because obviously there's a lot of people that start at the same time as you that aren't managing directors of large companies now. Like, what was your standout thing that yourself made the difference?
Do you know, I'm a people I'm a people person. Do you know what I mean? There's some people who I think, for me, doing this role, I do it because I do like to help people now. Like that is a big thing for me. And I do like to see people progress. I do like to see people earn money. I do like to see people go out to be like, thank you, Dean, for helping with this or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I think some people are more just focused on themselves, if that's the right way of putting it, rather than helping and developing others. I generally do like that.
Is that your motivation to work now? So obviously you've been the agent, you've made your money. Like, so yeah. What gets you going? What gets you up in the morning to go into work?
You guys in the office doing deals, I love it. Even if it's a rental for 5k or a villa sale at 60 million. I just love that, because I know that feeling you get when you sign that deal.
Yeah.
Where you've been working on it for so long, and someone's dicking about, or they won't sign this, or I want this changed at the last minute. It's like, and you can't force somebody to do it, but it's so frustrating. But for that deal to finally be signed and you to be like, yeah. I'm like, yes.
But I don't think everybody looks at that in that situation. Like, I've had a lot of, in the past, it's outside real estate where management are looking after themselves, like how they look, how the company is doing, rather than kind of actually being like invested in the people doing well. Like, have you always taken kind of pleasure out of helping other people doing well? And do you think that's served you as an agent?
No, I think it's definitely something more in the last few years, because we've got other businesses out there, so we can see how they run and what we needed to do for them to work. But I do believe, I just think if I was a broker, what would I want the person I'm reporting to be like? Would I want them to be like standoffish and, don't talk to them unless you're doing this, hitting that target or doing this? I just want somebody you could, level with. But at the same time, if they needed to talk about budgets and who we need to get rid of and where we're advertising, I can do all that still. We've got computers, to do a lot of that. But what you can't get out of a computer is that conversation that you could have with somebody about a deal or about, something that's happening in their life or something like that. I don't feel, I feel that if somebody were to talk to me, and again, people talk about anything, because I'm not there to
literally
judge.
anything.
Yeah. there's no sort of like, there's no holds barred really. It's a very open door policy, and I think you need that in this job.
Did you find you learned much, obviously, from setting up the other businesses over here? Is much of that transferable into?
No, because that was all, like, my wife had done all that herself. I just came on further down the road when we started like expanding and opening.
Take credit for it.
Bigger salons.
When started doing well.
Hop on the bandwagon.
No, she done that all single-handedly. Like no investors, nothing there. She just grabbed it and absolutely killed it. But then when we took over like this really big unit in our Wassel, it was like 6,500 square foot, and then the staff went up to like 45. I was like, right, you need to get involved here.
Yeah.
And that's when I became like done everything, like
Leave
visas,
it to me.
medical, nah, DIY, everything. Never even owned a toolbox. Had to go on Amazon and buy a hammer.
I can believe it, Dean. I can believe it.
All that plumbing issues, but no, I think it just made us, realise that. And the girls have been with us for 9 years from that place because they treat you well.
Yeah,
Staff,
that's again
yeah.
looking after the people.
I hate nothing more than there's what you got like a sausage factory of people leaving and yeah, exactly, just leaving and coming and going. It's not good for the other staff.
Is that not real estate in general? Like
that is real estate, 100%. Because people always think the grass is always greener. Oh, this other company's offered me this or promised me that. Have they? Like 2 months down the line, you're just probably going to be back in the same position. It's what you put in. Somebody said to me the other day, it's like we are the department store and you're working within our department. Like, if you go to like Selfridges, you've got Selfridges, which is the main thing. And within there, you've got, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and what are they doing to stand out? They've got their business going on, but they need to stand out from that shop next door to them. So different from you as a broker. You've got to stand out from that broker next to you. We're all got the same tools here. We've all got the same data sheets.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
So you're saying like it's a business within a business, like each real estate.
Effectively, yeah. And I just want, to promote your own business effectively and build your social medias up, build your Instagram up, where you are then your own little thing working underneath.
Yeah, as you said,
us.
using your broker just as the platform.
Exactly, to get to where you need to be. And then, again, you will get to a point where people will just ring you up and say, look, I've seen you, I was giving your number, I've seen your name here, I've done this, can you help me out with this?
You spoke there about, obviously, doing something that's different. With the market how it is now and how many real estate agents are in the market, what do you consider is doing something different?
Answering your phone.
The bare minimum, like.
The bare minimum. Looking presentable. Those two things there will put you head and shoulders. Growing when I was a broker, and it blows my brain when you go on property finder, normally responds in 20 minutes, normally responds in an hour and all that. No word of a lie, when property finder used to ring my thing, I used to get a lob on and be like, where's this? I don't care what I was doing, that phone, because that was your next, you've done the hard work of getting the listings. Now the people are calling you up, they're calling you. You don't have to cold call. How people, and I've seen it firsthand, I've bought, we've sold, we've rented, we've been landlords, we've done commercial, I've done with it all out here. And I still deal with so many people who don't answer their phones. And 2 months later, I'll get a call from an admin. Are you still looking to buy? I'm like, where are you calling from? I inquired about that 3 months ago and no one rang me. Like the mentality out here, if the market changed slightly, we go from 25,000 brokers to 10 overnight.
Yeah. So like you spoke a lot there, like about like within like real estate, but like how important is like your outside life, like outside of work, like and the way that you structure that, like in terms of how you are on a daily basis. Like I think from the way that you wake up, like as in just a spark in the morning, like happy-go-lucky, surely that would transfer into your office life and how you conduct yourself in the office and how you conduct yourself with clients and business. Like, do you think that's an important factor? Like if you're...
Yeah, I think so. And I think that with me, a lot of time is what you see is what, you get. I think you see a lot of these podcasts, these other people going on there telling you, this is a way to do it and this is what you've got to do. And have they ever actually been brokers themselves? Probably not. They've probably fallen into these things here. But as for me, I've always I just say it as it is with people. And whether you were a homeless person living on the streets or the president of America, I'm not going to talk to you any different. As soon as I go in there, it's going to be the same. You're a human at the end of the day. If you come across to this, I've got this, I've got that, I don't care. Like, you're going to buy this house, you're going to rent this house. I want to come and have a meeting with the top person at your office. But why? He's a specialist who can Tell you, you're going to come and talk to me, what, just because my name's there on a bit of paper?
Yeah.
How's that going to benefit you, trying to buy this property? Speak to the person who knows the area. People have got bravados, I think the right word is, isn't it? Bravados, about, they want to, there's always a bravado out here in Dubai. They have the best and
big egos.
Egos as well, yeah. But yeah, for me, I as I say, I wake up in the morning. Don't get me wrong, I wake up some days if I've had a sleepless night and I'd be like, kids. But then I've got to come to the office. So I can't, if I walk into the office in a shit mood, yeah, then everyone's going to be like, everyone will be probably on like, Dean's in a shit mood. If I just come into the office normal, like I am every day, it's just going to be a normal day. If you change your thing, then change is going to, affect people probably.
Yeah, and to be fair, you're pretty consistent with your good moods. Like you haven't come in any morning that we've been there and you're like, no, today's not the day.
It's not, but again, if there's something that's happened outside of work, that stays out of work. That doesn't need to come into work. Like when I go home after work, I'll speak to Kirst. There's something happened over the weekend. I was like, oh, God, how am I going to handle this? I was like, I'm going to call him now. Because sit down and talk to him face to face. To be fair, it's the best thing I've done. Spoke to him face to face, got the issue sorted, and we moved on. Because there's always a resolution to everything. Not everyone's always going to be happy with what's happened, but it's yes or it's no. It's going to work or it's not. You've done right, you've done wrong. There's always going to be a resolution to what's happened. So yeah, that for me is, again, if I'm not, but if people piss me off and don't respect the time that I give to people, that's when I get annoyed, and that's when I don't have time for that.
Do you find it easy to have those tough conversations? Like obviously, if that was hanging over for you a day or two, will you kick it down the road, or just like fuck it, right, go and get? No,
because so as soon as I come into the office today, within a couple of hours, it was dealt with. Yeah. It could have dragged out, but I think if I drag it out, is it going to, it's not going to benefit me. It's going to be them playing on my head. I'm going to keep putting it off. I was like, right, like Curse. If I say something to Curse, that's it. It's done. And I see a lot of things like that from her. Like if she'll tell you now that I will drag things out, like or I'll forget things. But I think that's just men when it comes to.
Yeah, and she just pokes you, makes you get them done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah.
But like some of those days, like where, how do you not take some stuff outside of work into work? Like, as in, surely if you're going through something tough outside work, it would affect inside. Like, have you ever had periods where something has happened and it's taken away from?
Yeah, like obviously I went through, as I touched on earlier, the worst thing in the world when my son passed away, and during that time, obviously me and Kirst were working together with the salons, so I wasn't in an office environment. Yeah. Fuck knows how I would have dealt with that if I was in an office environment, because our days were wake up in the morning, have breakfast with Tallulah, go to the hospital, 2 hours at the hospital, back home, have lunch, Tallulah went at school in, see Tallulah, do a bit of work, because obviously we were just doing like as many bits, and then we'd get in the car, drive back down to the hospital, 2 hours at the hospital, drive home, put her to bed. That was our day. Yeah. That was our day for 10 weeks.
Can't imagine how tough that was.
That's all we done for 10 weeks. I mean, it's very fortunate that we had the jobs that we done to be able to have the flexibility. Because other people wouldn't have been. Imagine if you were, if I had this job now, this would be a fucking different conversation. Yeah. I would have had to give up I would have probably had to have stopped working.
Yeah, there's more things in life, like more important.
And that's what I say about life. Like, nothing will faze me in life now. Like, the biggest issue that you think you might have at work, it's nothing.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? If someone came up to me in the middle of the street and said to me, I'm going to step, mate, that doesn't scare me. Like, what I've been through in life, standing over a child who knows I'm going to survive, that's the most scared you're ever going to be. Nothing in this day or world could ever scare me. Nothing could ever faze me. Like money problems, things like that, it's irrelevant to these things.
How do you get through those days? Obviously your wife
How?
is a massive.
Yeah, like I say too, I had to be the support for my wife and Tallulah at the time. If I wasn't there for them, who would they have turned to? Like that was always the way I saw it. If they didn't have me out here they'd have had no one. So I had to be that person that they could turn to.
Do you find it, like a lot of people when they go through hard events, like it can go either way, like as in they can push in the chips and be like, look, our time here is done, like, you know, get resentful against the world, like maybe move back to the UK or whatever, like as in, like how do you get through that with a smile on your face?
I mean, a smile on the face is probably wrong thing, but I had to get through it because there was no other option. Do you know what I mean? We had to deal with it. It was put on us, this awful, vile situation, and we had to deal with it. And there's no right or wrong way. And there's other people who, I tell you now, go down a very dark place, you know, that could really fuck their lives up mentally. Like that. I could walk into a hospital ward now and I hear those beepers of those machines, and that fucking, you know, people say they've been to war and got like that siren going off there brings back memories to me, and I'm like, fucking hell, that was awful. That is. I watch a video on my phone, I hear that beeping of the machines going off, and that fucking makes me go a bit fuck. I don't like that. But you've got people bottle stuff up. People don't talk. I'm a big believer in talking. That's why in the office I try and get all the little groups just so people can talk to each other about properties, about stuff that they've got going on. But it's the same outside of that, you know. You've got to talk to people. Yeah. If everything builds up, if you eat a load of food, same with eating, you're eating, the food's got to come out of you. If not, you're going to explode. Yeah. It's the same with that. If you don't talk and all this shit's going on in your head's going to explode and you're going to do something mad. You're going to top yourself, or you're going to, you know, do this or take anger out on someone.
I think you've set a very good environment in the office at the moment, though, that I know definitely in our side of the office anyway, it is, everyone does talk, and about more than just real estate too. And I think that comes a lot from the mood that you set in the office. You know, like you're in there, it's a nice place to be, you know, and people are talking, and it makes such a big difference when you go into work and it's not just right, sit at the laptop for the day. You're able to have a chat and talk about whatever.
You've got to. You're with these people 10, however many hours a day. You know, you probably see them more than you do your family. Yeah. You know, your boyfriends and your girlfriends. You see your boyfriends and your girlfriends get home from work. What, 3-4 hours you might be awake after that time you're watching TV and thinking to people in the office. You've got to have an environment in there. I always believe that. You know, they're not just work colleagues. They're people that you're going to be associated with for the next however many hours of the day, of the weeks and the months of the years. Yeah. So get on with them.
Yeah, I think talking about those things is absolutely massive. And I was listening to something with you on it, where you're talking about like the children's books that you're writing and how that helped you. Like, do you think like writing like was a main thing for you to be able
Massively.
to cope with it?
Well, the mad thing is I can't read or write for shit. Like, you look at my GCSE results, there's nothing there. So for me to take that and channel that into what I did, the best thing. Like literally, you're talking to somebody who struggles to, you know, and these books that just came into my head. I had great success with the first one. As I say, like, just because obviously a year after we had then Delilah was born, so obviously our focus was purely like on Delilah and making sure that pregnancy was fine. Obviously with everything that happened, the books got delayed. But there's definitely, I think, you know, this year, 2024, we'll have at least another one or two come out this year. Oh yeah, definitely. They're all there ready to go.
So what are their books about?
All about stuff that he would have done as a kid, growing up, adventures that he would have had, like dreams he would have gone on. The first one was his first Christmas. Second one was his first day at school. Adventure to the Stars was the first one I actually ever wrote. There's a football one as well there. One at the zoo. There's loads of it. It's mad.
It's powerful.
Do you find putting it down on paper though helps to get it out of your head?
Yeah, definitely. Like people say to me, I want to go and speak to a whatever special psychiatrist or thing. I always say, why would I go and speak to somebody who hasn't been through the situation I've been through? Yes, they're very qualified. Yes, they know what they're doing. But is it relevant to what I've been through? No, and I've always said that. I'll go and speak to this person. If I felt I needed to talk to somebody, I would. I'm not going to bottle it up and, you know, be that. But me and my wife have got a relationship where if we need to talk, we just talk to each other. There's no secrets. We just open book. But I wouldn't talk to somebody I'd rather talk to parents who have been through something similar,
Yeah.
which I've done a lot of. I still do. I still do podcasts and all sorts of things for people that want to go through it. And, my thing's always open. If somebody rang me up and said, "Oh, Dean, can you speak to this person or that person?"
Yeah.
I've got no issues doing that.
Yeah, like when I look at you, like as in like you personify like what I would like in this life, like as in sometimes I look around at people in Dubai, it's like their definition of successful, but like you align with mine. Like for the first time, like they always say, don't take advice from someone whose life you wouldn't trade with, like, and that's why when you say something, I listen, because like the way that I look at your life is something that I would class as valuable to aim towards.
Yeah.
But
No, I appreciate that. I think having the kids, and as I say, like it does change your life. And even now, if somebody bought me, bought a car or this or something flashy, I wouldn't be that arsed. I generally get that warm, buzzy feeling that you get when you love something and it's really passionate. I said it to Curtis the other day. I just got this warm, buzzy feeling of us. I was in the Maldives on holiday, and we all just had showered, got bathed, we was going out for dinner. Yeah. That to me is the fucking bollocks. Stick a Lamborghini in front of me, I wouldn't give two shits.
Yeah.
You give me that feeling, that's what I want. And I say that, and my kids will always go, if my kids, I saw it on TV the other day, if the kids ever needed to come home when they get older, come home. If you ever get in trouble with money, tell me. If you're ever struggling with something mentally, tell me. Being a parent, that's it. They are your responsibility. That's it. From the second they're born till, forever, effectively. But obviously, the older they get, they're going to make their own decisions. But being a family and having that is the. I mean, I'd love to have 10 if I could. If school fees weren't so high, I'd probably do it. And travelling, flying wouldn't have been easy. But
I think even just the whole lifestyle of, I know you mentioned before, like having friends and family around on a Sunday evening to the villa, have a barbecue and chill out. Yeah. If you're able to do that on a Sunday evening, have friends and family around.
That's what I love. Just the kids got a smile on their face. Yeah. As long as those kids, I remember when we built our villa and we was knocking it all down. I said, we had the breakfast bar like that, and you could see open into the garden, the living room. I said, I'd love nothing more than to be like preparing the food here, and the kids just running around like hoodlums. Our friends and family just chilling out there, having a drink or whatever. And then the other day we sat there, I was like, fucking hell, Curtis. I was like, this is what we spoke about this moment. And the kids, and their house was a shithole because they just trashed it, and rather than keep everything in your playroom, they just bring it all outside. And I'm like, nice one. But yeah, I just that's all it is for me. We don't need all these extravagant things. Like, yes, we need to look at getting other properties and things, but that's purely for our future. Obviously, being out here in the UK, you've got your pensions and stuff that you can put into, and there's financial services out here and ways of doing it. But our thing is, the more properties we own, there's more chance there for the kids to then have something when we, eventually stop working, and then we can give stuff to them.
Yeah.
So what is that, like, kind of to wrap this up, like what is your future kind of goals? What's your future? What's the things going to be driving you into the future?
Kids, really.
Yeah.
I suppose, it's going to get more expensive, isn't it? The older they get, the more we have. We're just enjoying this. Yeah, I don't know, really. I don't know. The drive will just be to be happy. Like for me to be happy, my wife to be happy, to be in a position where we don't, feel pressured by anything, and just wake up and be able to do what we want. And if we want to go on holiday, or if we want to go away for a weekend, or we want to shoot back to the UK to see our family, we can do that. Freedom is the big thing, I suppose.
Is that your definition of successful?
Yeah, I think being able to do, people say money doesn't buy happiness. Not necessarily, these, if all these celebrities who are rich and famous top themselves, maybe it doesn't, but it definitely helps with being able to make decisions, to do things.
It buys time.
It does. If you want to go on holiday, if you've got no money, you see these Instagram, oh yeah, travel the world, yeah, all right, Karen, but how are we going to get the money to, go to Bali and stay in that, hut and things like that? It's money is, it does make the world go round. Money is the most powerful thing in the universe. And you do need it, and I think it's what you need for an easy an easy life to make decisions.
To wrap it up, if you're speaking to yourself as, 14 years ago, was it you come over?
Yeah.
10 years ago?
10 years.
10 years ago, 2014. When you come over, what would you say to yourself looking back now? What would you do differently? What would you change?
I wouldn't change a thing. What I've experienced in the time I've been out here has been insane. Like what I've learned, how I've developed as a human, the people I've met, the children we've created. I generally don't think there's anything I probably would have bought more apartments back in like 2013 or 2014 and then just wait for them to have tripled in value. But apart from that, nothing. Generally, I don't think I would change a thing. Maybe I would have worked a little bit harder when I first came out here, but it wouldn't have changed where I've got to now.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to that younger self? What advice would you give to somebody in our position?
Just bite the bullet, make the decision, move halfway across the world, put a bit of money behind you. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. If recruiters are telling you it's going to be easy, they're bullshitting you. Yeah. It's not. And there's people in my office who have gone 4, 8, 12 weeks without doing business, and I've seen the stress on their face. And people will tell you, come out here and you do a deal, you make £10,000 a month. You won't. Okay, you will eventually, but you're not going to do that at least for the first, 6, 7, 8 months. But again, it's what you put in as a human to what you're going to get out from the other side. You work hard, you've got the right mentality, it will work. If you're more interested in getting pissed up and going out on ladies' nights.
It is delaying that gratification though, isn't it? Though you put in the work to reap the rewards further down the line,
Yeah.
And having that long-term vision.
100%. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure, Dean.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to Arjan.
Welcome to the Irish Republic.
You get a picture with that Irish Republic flag. Don't you worry, mister.
That'll be our thumbnail for the video.
Yeah, mister. I didn't realise they use euros in Ireland.
No, it was a driving licence, wasn't it?
Nah. Don't even try this.
We copied their driving licence too, apparently.
Oh yeah, we copied everything off the English.
Come on, I don't want Irish people hating. I mean, actually, got loads of Irish friends. But no, thank you guys.
Anyways, yeah, thanks. It's been an absolute pleasure, Dean.
All the best.
See you in the morning.